Al-Sali from Carousel Weddings and Events in magnificent Dubai. And we are here to talk about how to get wedded in Dubai, what destination weddings look like. We want to know about your business. When I think of Dubai weddings, you're the first person that pops in my mind. I think the weddings that you've done have been world class, and you've serviced the destination market for such a long time. We want to talk through what we see in the future of weddings in Dubai as well. So I'm so excited to have you here. We've known each other for quite some time now. And tell us a little bit about Carousel Weddings and Events, when it all started, and about you and what drives your passion for weddings in Dubai.
First of all, welcome to Dubai, Wendy.
Thank you.
I know you've been here before. We were here for Engage right before the lockdowns. So, and this area has a lot of special memories for us, which lasted us throughout the lockdown. I think we all look back fondly as we had our final hurrah in Dubai. The global wedding industry came together.
Thanks to you.
Thank you. And of course to Dubai for hosting us at the time. So I am the founder and creative director of Carousel Events. I have been doing this for 15 years. When I first started doing weddings in Dubai, the idea of a wedding planner was a very new thing here in the Middle East and in Dubai. Typically, the family plans and helps the couple throughout the process. So hiring a wedding planner wasn't something people were used to. People would hire a decorator, a florist, and the different suppliers to work on their wedding, but not really a planner. So I spent a good few years trying to educate people on why it is that they needed to hire a planner to help them plan a meticulous wedding. But I didn't really start doing weddings at first. It was corporate events that I did. And I did that for a while until, one day I got contacted by a bride. Coincidentally, she was new to Dubai. She was here without her family, and her fiance was also new to Dubai, and they had no one to help them. And she basically said, I have no family here. I don't really have a lot of friends, and I need all the help I can get to plan my wedding. So it was, the spark that I needed to kind of put me in the right direction. And I found my calling, which is being a wedding planner.
And tell us about the kinds of weddings that you plan.
I think being a wedding planner in Dubai, makes for a very, fulfilling role, basically, because we get to work with people from all over the world. Different nationalities, different backgrounds and cultures and religions, which is very exciting for me as a planner, because no two weddings are alike. We also have a lot of, mixed weddings in the sense that, you've got people from different countries getting married here. And it's, Dubai is a melting pot. And, what's more magical than, bringing cultures together and different traditions together and seeing people celebrate each other's traditions and cultures. And I think this is what embodies the spirit of Dubai, and for all of us that have lived here all our lives. And to be a planner here in this city and doing that for people from all over the world has been a fulfilling experience for me.
Well, that would be the pinnacle of what Dubai is all about.
Exactly.
Right? So Dubai brings the world together, and you are seeing that at, the most important day of someone's life, and you're actually facilitating all of the requirements for these weddings for people from all over the world.
Exactly.
So talk me through the different cultures, the different the protocol around religious and non-religious ceremonies, the expectations from couples, and what people can anticipate when planning their wedding.
I think Dubai is actually one of the easiest cities in the world to plan a wedding in. I think boasting a wide variety of different venues and luxury venues. And also, given the number of different religions that live and work in the city, you also have the different religious centers that are available for people to basically do their religious ceremonies, and whether they are Hindu or Christians or of course Muslims. But lately, people can also have their civil ceremonies here in Dubai and the UAE. A few years ago, if you weren't a resident, you couldn't get married in Dubai.
Okay.
But that law has changed, and now people from all over the world, from any
UK
religion,
to the US,
can get married here. If they want a religious ceremony, they'll have a religious ceremony. If they want to do a civil one, they can do one. And it is a very simple and easy process that is outlined, you know, on the official websites. So Dubai is doing everything it can to facilitate these protocols for couples from all over the world. I think the weather in Dubai plays a big factor. When it's cold and rainy in many different parts of the world, we've got the most perfect weather.
You can trust the weather in Dubai,
you can trust the weather in Dubai. So for people that are looking to get married, let's say during the winter months or during you know, the time where you've got the Christmas holidays, you're not going to find a better destination because you have sunshine for most of the year, I would say, and the weather is pretty much stable. So for those that really do want to get married during the winter months, I don't think they'll find a better location.
And there are so many outdoor locations,
Exactly.
which I think is a misconception with Dubai. People think that it's hot all year round, and they may think that, you know, weddings can only take place indoors, for example. But as we've seen from the weddings that you've produced, so many of them have incredible outdoor ceremonies and receptions.
We have a nice balance between the indoor and outdoor options here in Dubai, and given the way that the city has you know, been planned, and of course the different hotels and resorts throughout the city. So you've got the beach resorts, for example, for those looking to have a beach wedding, a beachside wedding. You have the city hotels, and like, you know, downtown where people want to have a more cosmopolitan and a quintessentially Dubai experience, especially for destination weddings. And you know, what's more iconic than to get married in the center of now, as we call it in Dubai, with the Burj Khalifa as your backdrop. I don't think it gets you know, more dramatic than being married in such a location. And you know, you've got the desert, of course. That's another option that Dubai offers for those people that want a truly unique experience. So whether it's the sea or the desert or the city, you know, the options are endless, and it will, you know, at the end of the day, every couple has to think of what kind of experience they want to give their guests and what truly reflects them as a couple as well. And you know, they're spoiled for choice.
They really are. And do you find that couples book multiple events for a destination wedding? Do you find that they have a pre-event, maybe a post-event, an after-party? Do they host experiences in between for their guests? Because there's so much to see and do in Dubai, right?
Yeah, and you know, when you're planning a destination wedding and your guests are, you know, going to go through all that time and effort and expense to come to attend your wedding, you do kind of want to give them kind of a unique experience where they're going to come and experience the city you're bringing them to. And you know, you've got captive audience, your guests are there for you. So you kind of, I think you can maximize on what you do with them. So we do plan, you know, welcome nights. So that's just kind of a more casual night for people to get together. You know, something that's not too hectic for people. And then, you know, people do plan excursions for the day before for people that, you know, want to be exploring the city or doing something. A lot of times it might not be something that everyone attends, but we do give people the option that we help them organize excursions for their guests should they wish to do that. There's a lot to see in the city. There's a lot to do. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions about Dubai, which annoys me a lot, is that Dubai is superficial. It's only glitz and glamour. But Dubai is so much more than that. There's so much depth and culture and heritage to the city. This is Dubai, yes, but this is not the Dubai that we know. There's just so much more to see and experience. And I think it's very important for anyone planning a destination wedding in Dubai is to explore those parts of Dubai. There is a lot of, you know, old neighborhoods that are basically old Dubai, and it's where we all grew up. And they're just so magical and so authentic and so down to earth. And it's a must visit. It's just very charming for people. And I think for people that come from, you know, Europe or Australia, it's a unique experience.
It is, yeah.
And it's something to see
Yes.
and to experience if you're here. It's not just the malls or the, you know, the glistening buildings
Yes.
and the nightlife.
It's part of it, but it's not all of it,
It's
right?
not all of it.
Yeah.
It's certainly not all of it. And like I said, there's just so much depth and layers to this city. And, you know, we want everyone to experience it.
Talk me through the education piece around guests attending weddings and some of the misconceptions there in terms of dress codes, in terms of alcohol, food expectations. Talk me through that.
I mean, we get that all the time.
Yes.
You know, those questions about misconceptions about Dubai being a Middle Eastern city in the Gulf. You know, the obvious one is, can I wear what I want? Do I have to cover up?
Yeah.
And the answer is no. Dubai is a very, you know, open and progressive city. With respect, of course.
Yes.
You know, we all have to be respectful of the locals' traditions and cultures. But as long as it's done in a respectful manner,
Yes.
everyone is free to do whatever they want, to dress whichever way they want. Again, I mean, these kind of expectations are there everywhere, even
Yes.
in the West. I mean, you have restaurants that say no shirt, no service,
Yes.
or you know, you cannot, you know, walk into, let's say, a mall wearing, you know, a swimsuit.
Yes.
So these are the general laws that you find everywhere in the
Everywhere.
world. Exactly. But people are free to dress whichever way they want. Women don't have to cover. What I love about Dubai is that you can see a woman that's, you know, dressed modestly and covered up, and next to her is a woman that, you know, is
Absolutely.
and I
Yeah.
love that contrast, and everyone lives in peace and harmony,
Yes.
and everyone's accepting.
Yes.
So that's one of the questions that we always get. The second one is, of course, about, you know, can we serve alcohol at weddings? Can we dance? Can we party? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
Again, everything within, you know, the guidelines and the norm. If everything is done in a proper way, you are free to do whatever you want. And, you know, Dubai, at the end of the day, is a very progressive city that is home to people from all over the world. And we just said that it embraces different cultures and
Yes.
traditions. You know, the locals are gracious to all of us living here as expats.
Yes.
And, you know, we all live together with respect and harmony.
Yes.
So it's the same with anyone visiting Dubai. And I think one of the main pillars of Arab hospitality is embracing guests. So when people visit Dubai and when they plan their weddings in Dubai, they can expect nothing but people to be gracious towards them, welcoming and hospitable.
Yes. And the
Yes.
service
And the service is impeccable.
is impeccable.
Yes.
It's really second to none.
Yes, I think it's
Yeah.
becoming very hard for us to travel anywhere else in the world because
You
we
are
are
spoiled.
constantly, we're too spoiled.
Yeah.
We're constantly comparing in Dubai.
Yeah.
You know,
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. It's really superlative. And I think for all of us that live and work here, Dubai has actually made us all kind of push beyond, you know, the expectations, because it's the city
Yes.
that
standard
it's
that's
the
been set by
standard.
the
So
city.
it sets it for all of us.
Yes.
So we all know that to be successful, we're just going to have to push that much more because we all live and work here.
Yes.
And it's just that expectation
Yes.
of anything that is done here is done well. It's done to a certain standard,
Yeah.
and it is done with passion, because Dubai is a city that was built with passion.
Yes.
And you can see it everywhere.
You can. Yes.
And for us, as you know, people that have lived there all our life, just the transformation of what happened here, and you know, it's just the
Extraordinary.
consistency as well. You know, you can come to Dubai every year from now until
Yeah.
50 years. It will still be Dubai.
Yeah.
The level of service,
Yeah.
the quality, the cleanliness, the hospitality, and it's a happy city.
Yes.
You know, everyone's happy here. You know, everywhere you go, people smile and people are polite. And I think when you're planning a destination wedding, that those factors, they might not be your, you know, the first thing you think
Yes.
about, but it's very important for your experience and for
course.
your guests'
And the
experience.
consistency of that, I think, is so important.
Absolutely.
So when planning a destination wedding and wanting to come to Dubai, what would you suggest for a couple? would you suggest that they, with your business in particular, inquire online, come visit first if they've never been before? How do you immerse your couples into what is on offer in Dubai?
I think the first thing that most couples do is go online and
Yes.
start researching. However, the danger with that is that a lot of the things you see online might not be vetted. You know, people see things on social media, and we all know that, you know that, Wendy, more than anyone, of course, is that what you see on social media is not always,
Yes.
the case. So I would say that it's very important for couples before they embark on planning a wedding in Dubai or any other destination is to verify the sources from which they're getting their information from. Make sure that they're legit sources, that they're going to, like, for example, the Dubai tourism website, or going to the venue websites. And then, venues are always kind of that first point of contact for couples. Ask the venues, who their list of recommended planners or suppliers are, because they're vetted.
Yes.
Because venues know.
They're partners.
They're partners,
Yes.
exactly. So, don't just go do this random search and then start reaching out to people. Go to official sources, and then from there, kind of like narrow down your list by vetting people. You may reach out to people. One of the things I tell people that inquire with Carousel all the time is would you like to speak to one of our couples?
Yes.
That have planned a destination wedding before? Because there's nothing
great.
like,
Yeah,
hearing it from the horse's mouth.
exactly.
I'm like, I'm not going to sit and tell you how good I am. Or, you need to hear it from people that have worked with me,
Yes.
whether they're suppliers or venues or previous clients. So it's important to do that research because things can go wrong very quickly.
And what happens in the scenario if you have a couple who comes and sees you and says, we need to plan a wedding in 2 months, or or we need to change this up, or we have now guests coming from a certain region, for example, that need to be catered for? Do you receive a lot of last minute requests? Is this in the nature of destination weddings, or and how do you manage that?
It's the nature of all weddings, Wendy.
Especially in the world, post-COVID, I feel like.
Post-COVID, yes, especially post-COVID. I think because of the way, especially in the past 3 years, things kept changing.
Yes.
Laws, regulations.
Change was the only constant,
exactly.
right?
It was a constant, and people were scared to solidify their plans because they knew that, and we had it. We had last minute changes and cancellations and slashing of numbers and closing of venues, and so I think we learned the hard way of how to deal with these sudden and last minute changes. However, it's not that that wasn't the case before COVID. I think one of the main things about last minute changes is that how prepared we are as professionals to deal with those changes. First and foremost, don't panic. Okay, when a client comes to me with a last minute change, in my head, expected, it's normal. And I think, with experience, you have a game plan for, you anticipate. And a lot of times we do anticipate the changes before they happen. You need to have your backup plans ready. You need to kind of know that in case of any change, what needs to be done. As far as how quickly we can plan a destination wedding, I've planned destination weddings in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And this is very, very typical of a post-COVID era. I think, people are getting engaged, deciding
spontaneous.
They're more, yes, and it's kind of like, you know what, I want to live today. I don't want to wait.
Yes.
Why
should I wait?
Why should I wait 2 years to get married? You know what I mean?
And if it can be done.
Right. And then I think this also comes from our ability to plan weddings quickly. Is also it's a cultural thing, because in the Middle East, a couple get engaged and get married right away.
Yes.
We don't have the long engagement periods
So
in the West where you have a year or two. I recently got an inquiry from Hong Kong, and I had a Zoom call with them, and they're planning to do a destination wedding in Dubai next year. So they're like, are we late? The first thing they asked me, are we late? Are you available? I'm like, February 2024? And they're like, yes. Because I was like, are you talking about this Feb? And they're like, no, a year from now. I'm like, yes, because we typically plan weddings within 3 to 6 months at most.
Okay.
Very rarely do we get more than that to plan weddings. So we're kind of used to that quick turnaround.
And what I find, so fascinating by visiting venues in Dubai is you can have a wedding for 20 people, you can have a wedding for 1,000 people.
Exactly.
And that's not really typical for destination wedding locations.
No.
Destination weddings, generally, when you think about, you know, some of the regions, is that they're quite small and they're quite intimate. And you can definitely have an intimate wedding here, right?
Yes,
But
absolutely.
at the same time, if you wanted to be able to have a large scale, you know, event, or you're of a cultural background and so you do have more guests, it can also be facilitated.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we've planned weddings, especially, you know, since COVID as well. But even prior to that, we've planned destination weddings for 40 people, 50 people, and we've planned them for 1,500 people.
Yes.
And I think it's more of, I would say, a cultural thing. Like if you look at the Indian weddings, for example, or the Saudi weddings, we do a lot of Saudi destination weddings here in Dubai. They tend to be a lot bigger in scale. But then with the Western kind of weddings, they're a lot smaller in size, and if they're destination, they don't exceed sometimes 80 to 100 people.
Yes.
But then, you know, that's the beauty of Dubai, is that it can cater to all numbers. And I think one of the main things that I hear about planning a destination wedding elsewhere is venues' inability to cope with a big number.
Yes.
You know, whether it's for wait staff or chefs, or, you know, it's very difficult once it gets to, let's say, 200 people. Then Dubai are used to, you know, doing weddings for 3,000 people if needed.
Yes.
And, you know, that's
again,
one
that
of
comes back to the foundational.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's very much very service oriented city, and, you know, no cost is spared to make sure that whether it's an event or a wedding, that the guests are well taken care of. Yeah.
What do you see for the future of Dubai when it comes to destination weddings?
I think that Dubai is going to be one of the top destinations for weddings in the next few years. It started to pick up, I think, right before
We've
COVID.
already seen it,
Yes, and then I think post-COVID, I think COVID was kind of a silver lining for Dubai.
Yes.
Because it managed to show the world what it can do in crisis. And they did it well.
Yes.
They did it with grace.
Yeah.
They did not, you know, waver in their commitment to their residents, their people, visitors. They treated everyone alike. They took care of everyone. You know, even though we had one of the strictest lockdowns in the world, there was nothing that we couldn't get delivered to the house. There was no transaction we couldn't do online. The city went from lockdown to, you know, full life in a matter of a few weeks. I think health has become a priority for a lot of people. The city's healthcare system is very robust. I think they did very well with their response to COVID, and that's something that people really care about now, is that if I am planning a destination wedding in a city and let's say my you know, guests got sick, and, you know, are there hospitals, is there medical attention, are they going to be taken care of? And the answer is yes. Safety is a big concern for a lot of people when planning destination weddings, and especially
you're
for
responsible for your guests, and you want them to be
and especially for high net worth individuals, you know, where, you know, showcasing wealth in a lot of major cities, you can't really walk around, you know, in expensive watches and handbags and jewelry. People are scared. In Dubai, the city is very, very safe. You know, I come home from working at weddings at 3 and 4 in the morning. I drive home alone. I've never ever felt scared or worried that I'm a woman driving alone in my car at 3 or 4 in the morning. And I think the same applies to people that travel here. People are respectful, and it's safe, and people can display wealth without having to worry. And those are all big determining factors for people when they're planning a destination wedding.
And the fact that I think so many people don't, I mean, it might be something that they consider but they don't really think about, is that it's an English speaking
Exactly.
region.
I think if you didn't speak English, you couldn't do anything
you
here.
couldn't do anything, but you definitely, most definitely, when you think of other destination regions, again,
language
the
is
language
a big
barrier is a big one. And I think when
Absolutely.
it comes to Dubai, like, there's nowhere that you can go and nothing that you can't do.
100%.
You know, and so everyone speaks English, and the signage, it's a very easy city to get around.
And you know what? I think the proximity of the airport to the city center. I mean, you can technically cross Dubai, you know, in 20 to 30 minutes, and everything is within 20 minutes, you know, even at the height of rush hour. And that's important. So if you're moving your guests from one location to the next, you know, you don't want them to be on a bus getting taken from their hotels to another venue for 2-3 hours. You know, people get tired by the time they get to the venue. Exactly. So I think that is very, very valuable for people. And, you know, that people arrive and within 20 minutes they're in their hotel. You know, they're not driving for another hour and a half.
The Dubai experience is there from start to end, right? From the moment you land in the airport, I really feel like
it is. It is. And you know what? It's just comfort. You know, comfort. You know,
I know.
It's like I don't want to go and have to, you know,
but when it comes
die
to a wedding, you want to be able to really, it's your own comfort, and then obviously of that of your guests as well.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to a destination wedding, isn't the first priority the experience?
Yes.
Really, otherwise you would just have it at home. So 100%. What is the point?
Exactly. So I mean, you don't want to fly your guests halfway across the world for them, you know, to be exhausted and jet lagged and tired. And no, you want them to be comfortable and you want them to feel like, oh my gosh, we were well taken care of. Everything was amazing. Everything was well thought out. And I think, again, Dubai is such an easy city to plan a destination wedding, and everything is so readily available as well. You know, we planned a destination wedding last month, and you know, they wanted nail technicians to come to the hotel to get a mani-pedi in the hotel. They're like, we don't want to go. Done.
Made it happen. Can do.
Exactly.
I've been hearing about the can do Dubai attitude, and it definitely is there, and it's in everything. It's in everything.
Yes, it's like no, it's not an option. You know.
Yes, I know. Tell us a little bit about the book that you have recently, released and to the world about Dubai weddings. And obviously a Carousel.
Yes.
Very exciting. Congratulations.
So, thank you. So that's in a silver lining of COVID. So I've always wanted to do a book about, you know, weddings in Dubai and Dubai in particular as a destination for weddings. As you know, Wendy, Dubai is always my favorite topic, even when we attend international wedding conferences. I just feel like I owe so much to the city that has been my home. And, you know, I started my company here and I've become, you know, successful here. And I think it's enabled me to be where I am today. So I used the downtime during COVID to put together my first book. And the book really highlights weddings in the Middle East, the different traditions and cultures around weddings in the Middle East, and also the different kind of weddings that we are able to plan and design here in the city of Dubai. I'm very proud to say that I did this book in collaboration with Dubai Tourism, and the book's forward by the CEO of Dubai Tourism and Commerce, Mr. Isam Kazim. So I am, you know, very proud of this achievement and to be able to share it with the world, to kind of show the endless possibilities that Dubai has to offer for couples.
Well, thank you for showcasing that for the past 15 years. I think what you've done is remarkable. Like I said, you definitely waved the flag when it comes to weddings in Dubai and for destination weddings. And we're very excited to see what comes next, both for Carousel Weddings and Events and, of course, weddings in Dubai.
Thank you, Wendy. It's been such a pleasure chatting to you about one of my favorite topics. And we love having you here with us.
Thank you. It's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you, Wendy.